All right, welcome to the video. So this is a video about getting work in the industry once you've completed a music degree. So the most common question I get when people are considering doing a music course is, what job am I going to get at the end of it? And the music industry is just not like that. So you really have to generate your own work. And that's why I'm going to introduce these guys and talk about what they've done, because they've done a really great job of getting work and generating their own income and gigs. So we have
Joe
and Shannon,
founding members of Foulface.
Yo,
welcome. So just to put you in the picture, so these guys did the Cert 3 and just about to finish the diploma. You met in the Cert 3.
Yep.
Yeah.
And they have a great band that they formed in the Cert 3 and continued into the diploma and have done a great job of getting work. So maybe you could tell us a little about the Foulface journey.
Okay. So we met last year when we started our Cert 3.
Yep.
And started off as a band of 6. And then started writing some like synthy, pretty
rocky kind of stuff.
And then once we finished studying, kind of decided that we wanted to keep going, take it a little bit further. So we started our diplomas. A couple of the members from the Cert 3 didn't come over to the diploma, so we met new band members. And now we are a 4-piece and play like pop metal music.
Yeah. I feel we've really refined our sound since the Cert 3.
Definitely.
And what kind of gigs do you do these days?
We've played
a lot out in the valley.
Yeah.
A lot of originals gigs are in the
valley.
valley.
Only originals gigs.
100%.
Yeah.
But that's the valley is the place for originals gigs.
Definitely, 100%.
Yeah.
Places like Tomcat, the
Bright
Side, O'Sculligan's. We played our first debut gig, and we sold it out.
Yeah.
Our very first gig in July.
Yeah. We also managed to play Scorch Festival and supported a huge band called Luca Brasi, both which were sold out.
Yeah.
Right. So here's a question: so you obviously formed the band. Recorded some songs. I might just add in here that these guys are great songwriters, a great songwriting team. Shannon is the guitarist, Joe is the singer. Shannon comes up with great guitar riffs, and Joe, great lyricist and melody writer. So you've got a really great little team.
Thank you.
So how did you get your first gig, let's say? How did that come about?
Our first gig, we played it with a diploma band who started last year. So they were headlining and asked us to open for them. So it was a cool little college clique.
Cool.
Yeah.
But it wasn't a TAFE thing.
No, it wasn't a TAFE. It was organised entirely by the other
together,
band. Yeah.
Yeah.
Heaps of networking done.
So what kind of networking have you done here and outside of TAFE?
So here we have worked a lot with the Diploma of Sound Production students. In the Diploma of Sound Production, we also found a manager who is pretty much like our booking agent now, has gotten us humongous gigs that we would have never gotten had we not had her. And that a lot of bands within their first like 6 months are not playing the gigs that we've played.
So she's been great for you guys.
Super
That's
lucky.
Mackenzie who did the sound.
Mackenzie Green from Bleached Entertainment.
We've been very lucky to network, and I feel a lot more people should network while at TAFE. It's a great way to network with different people.
And it's interesting because, she did the sound course, and she's kind of a manager, and there's a girl in the, Tiani in the music course who's kind of going down that.
Yeah, as an artist manager.
So it's good to make connections. And you've had to make some hard decisions along the way.
Oh, 100%. We've had to refine our lineup a lot.
Yeah.
But that's part of growing as a band, because we want to turn this into a business, and I feel we've taken all the right steps to ensure that's going to happen.
Yeah. We are super, super passionate about this project. Like it is our baby. So
we want this to be an income and a career for us.
Yeah.
Yeah, cool. All right. So another question about getting different forms. We've got a few questions about different forms of income, and merchandising is one of those. So what have you done for that?
So we, more networking, met a student in the graphic design diploma who helped us create some merchandise.
Yeah.
So we did like our first run, we did like 20 t-shirts that were all like one of a kind, handmade.
Yeah.
That was funded like completely out of our own pockets.
And was that profitable? Did you sell them for more than they cost to make?
Yeah.
Or
Yeah. We made, not an exorbitant amount, but we profited, and sold out. Out of.
And now we can use that to invest back into our band.
Yeah.
Cool. And you were talking about investing.
Yeah.
You got to spend some to make.
You've
some.
got to spend
100%.
money. Like sometimes putting on gigs costs a lot of money. Merch costs a lot of money. Insurance costs a lot of money. So you got to invest money into yourself to be able to make it into a career and to make money.
And the other thing we were talking about is you definitely, and I encourage this as well, sometimes you've got to do free gigs, and it might even cost you money to put on a gig. So tell me about some of the different gigs that you've done along the way.
Yeah, so the very first gig that we did, we got a nice $50 paycheck for it.
Nice.
We made $50. And
but you got to start small.
You got to start small. We didn't
You're not
expect to
going to go
get paid
in
at
at the
all.
top end.
Yeah, we didn't expect to get paid at all for that gig. So $50, awesome.
Yeah.
It's something, and we've definitely done a lot of free gigs. You have to if you want to get your music out and you want to, have a fan base. You have to release some kind of music and play for free and sell your soul a little bit. You have to. But yeah, we've been paid pretty well for some gigs that we've done,
especially the last few ones, like living in, taken care of.
Yeah, now I think that we're building a bit of a community and a bit of a fan base. People take us a bit more seriously, and we've made some good money. And everything that we make, instead of splitting $200 4 ways, we keep it in a band kitty. And anything that we need for the band comes out of that kitty,
Absolutely.
That's a very, very common thing to do.
Absolutely.
Even if you just take a little bit off the top or half of it or whatever.
Yeah. And we're set up as a fully fledged business as well. So.
Yeah. It's crazy.
Cool. All right. Next question is about releasing music. And I think it's interesting that you've actually done a lot of gigs. You've done a lot of recording, but you've actually not released anything, but you've done a lot of gigs, which is actually not a bad way of doing it. Because every gig you do, you're getting better and tighter, and that's definitely been true the times I've seen you perform. But what are your plans for releasing your own music?
Well, we are looking at working with a company called GyroStream. So they are a music distributor, and they will get your music onto like all different digital platforms such as Spotify, iTunes. But they also go above and beyond to get your music into different playlists on Spotify.
Right.
A lot of playlists now can help emerging bands become massive.
It's all about getting on a playlist these days, isn't it?
Yeah,
it is. Yeah,
very
you
much
don't sell CDs anymore.
And pretty much just like going to town with all the social media.
Do you have any intentions of selling your music at gigs? Is that a thing anymore? Not really.
It's not really a thing.
No.
I haven't gone to a gig in a long time and seen them sell like a hard copy CD.
Most bands release their music digitally, and then they'll sell merch and stuff to make money at shows.
That's where the money is.
Yeah.
Live shows and merchandise.
Yeah.
It's amazing. Back in the day, it wouldn't have been like that, but now merch is more profitable than certainly at a
100%.
sort of lower level.
Like there's bigger Aussie bands like that, they get their income to be able to tour from their merch sales alone. Yeah. So it's crazy.
Cool. Okay, so just to sort of finish off, is what advice would you give to students who would be watching this? They might be in the Cert 3. I mean, they could be in any. I think this advice is irrelevant to any music course. What advice would you give them if they're starting out? Maybe they've got a little band, and what do you think, looking back on your journey, what do you think would be some good advice you could give?
Well, for me personally, it would be to network. Yeah. Meet as many people as you can and listen. So all these different people get like heaps of advice, because you'll need it.
Yeah.
Yeah. What about you, Joe? Any advice?
It's pretty cliche, but honest, just don't give up on it. It's hard. It's really hard.
It's a grind.
This year, especially,
COVID,
but playing somehow, even during a pandemic, we also started a band and have been playing a lot to the point where we all started to experience some burnout. Creatively, and it's hard, it's difficult, but at the end of the day, I'm living my dream. Like,
Yeah.
it is my dream.
And another bit of advice you can add on to that is to like make sure to rest.
Yes.
Make sure to like take the time to recuperate from playing shows and stuff, so you don't get burnt out.
Yeah.
And the other thing I think you guys have done well since I've seen you is you've consistently gotten better. You've practiced, you regularly practice, you regularly do gigs. You may have had some rough gigs early on, would you say? Did you have any, or they've all been pretty smooth?
They've all been
pretty good.
But you've definitely gotten tighter as the...
Definitely.
And that's an important thing as a band. You want to be a good standard band.
And studying as well, and like studying and creating a band at TAFE, like we had 6 hours a week dedicated to practice time.
Yeah,
like,
absolutely.
We had, that benefited we benefited so much from that. We didn't really have much time outside of TAFE this year, honestly, to practice or, you know, it's being at college and having that dedicated time to get into a gig room and thrash it out and keep writing music and,
And I think another thing you've done really well, Joe, is I've noticed you've become a better front person.
Oh, 100%.
Oh, 100%.
And would you say that's something you've tried to incorporate, or if you just from practice? How
from
have you
practice.
done it?
Right.
You were quite uncomfortable in the beginning.
Yeah.
Especially without an instrument.
Definitely, yes. So when we started, I played bass, but I forfeited that instrument to focus on being a front person. And I watched videos even from like 2 months ago where I was pretty stagnant on stage. I was just kind of standing there and honestly, consuming live music, going out and watching gigs and watching bands that I love, and especially 100%. As a female-fronted bands, and just becoming inspired and also writing music that I love. Like, I love our songs. I can't stay still. Like, and I want a crowd to experience that as well. I don't want people standing in my crowd still and bopping around. Like, I want them to be jumping around with me. So, when I first started, being on a stage was terrifying. Now it's the only place that there's no thoughts. It's just music, and it's awesome.
Just on what you mentioned there, sometimes when you watch a band, and I do this in life in general, sometimes you can watch someone who's really great and learn a lot. Yes. But sometimes when you watch someone who's really bad, you can actually almost learn more. And I'm sure you've seen some bad bands and gone, let's not do that.
100%. Even...
And the whole being a front person as well. In that.
Yeah. But there's definitely been circumstances where not even just them as performers, but them as...
backstage.
Yeah. As big performers, like as big names. We've worked with, some people who haven't been very nice, and we've been, that is exactly what you don't want to be. Like, you want to keep some humility and some
and it like reinforces the fact that you don't burn any bridges and be respectful and nice to everyone you meet.
And we're all in this industry together.
Regardless where they are on their musical journey,
And if you're up here or down here, or in terms of popularity, or
exactly,
it doesn't matter.
We're all doing the same thing, trying to make money and.
And it's funny. I've done a few gigs with minor celebrities, singers and stuff, and I think you get some famous people who are really nice, and you get some who are pricks. But then even at the bottom end of it, you get nobodies who are pricks,
massive egos,
massive egos, and nobodies who are super nice. So you get everything, and
But
it's a good learning curve, for sure.
Yeah. Just be a nice person.
If you want to learn about the world, be a musician that plays gigs regularly.
So just to finish off, I thought, did you want to do a little plug of where can we find your music?
Ooh.
Do you have any socials? If people want to listen to Foulface?
We have recorded an EP, but at this current point in time, it is not yet released. But if you follow us on Instagram, which is just, I think it's foul.face, we're there and we're promoting it, and we will be posting about it when it comes out, and Facebook.
Cool. Post upcoming gigs and that kind of stuff.
Yeah, upcoming gigs, gig photos, reels, clips of live shows,
stuff,
memes.
Also find us on TikTok.
Oh yeah, we do have a TikTok now, which I think is just Foulface.
Yeah.
Cool. And if you YouTube my name, you'll see plenty of these guys performing, and you could probably see your journey. A lot of the
Our very first video that we filmed
Yeah,
as a
right.
band last year is up there. So watch that one and then watch the most recent
Or
one.
don't watch the first one.
Maybe don't watch that.
It's fine.
But it's
Can you
a good
delete that?
comparison. Cool. Anyway, we'll wrap it up there. So hopefully that's some good information about getting into the music industry. And just to sort of conclude, and I think back to when I first became a musician, and I'm sure people agree, you don't finish a music course and go, okay, great, I'll sit by the phone and someone's going to phone me for a gig.
Oh no.
Doesn't happen to me. Didn't happen. I'm sure it didn't. You've got to get out there and do your own thing. And these guys have done a great
You've got to
job.
grind and
Networking.
hustle. And
Yeah.
networking.
For sure.
So thank you guys. You guys have done a great job. Hopefully you have learnt something from watching this, and all the best with your future journeys.
Thank you very
I look
much.
forward
Mr.
to
Loveland.
watching it. That's a
Toby.
wrap.
Toby,
Is it a
everyone.
wrap?
That's a wrap.
It's a burrito. What?